Joining us now is Washington Examiner contributor Gianno Caldwell and former Hillary Clinton Strategic Communications Director Adrienne Elrod. Welcome to you both. Adrienne,
thank you.
She made a very interesting point. Does the left really understand what President Trump has decided here and the fact that he's kicked it back to Congress for 6 months?
Well, look, first of all, it's nothing but conservative spin to suggest that anybody who was protected under DACA is no longer at risk of being deported. ICE issued a very stern memo 5 days after President Trump became president in January 25th of 2017, basically saying anybody who is not here legally can be mass deported at any time. So there certainly is any sort of notion that these people can't be deported is simply,
well, there's so far there's not
guidelines elsewhere that suggest that for those 6 months, for those who actually did get the DACA protection, that they're going to be okay for at least 6 months, and they can also renew their permits if it's done by a certain date. So I disagree with that.
They're not. Yeah, and Adrienne, that is true.
There's absolutely no guarantees.
They were very specific in saying this wasn't like let's just kick them all out of the country tomorrow. That's not what. We all agree that that's not what President Trump did. But here's the thing, Gianno, is that, many in the left are labeling this, like she just said, is this mass deportation of children. Mia Farrow even tweeted about it, the actress. She said expelling 800,000 kids, again, that's wrong, who grew up in America is wrong, cruel, sickening. So they're just getting the story wrong. The facts don't seem to be kicking in here.
I think at this moment we all need to take a deep breath.
I like that idea.
Yeah, take a deep breath, because there's a lot of fake outrage going on at this point. We see that a lot of folks on the left have said time and time again that President Trump is racist, he's a bigot, he's cruel, he's mean. Well, why not give this decision to Congress then? Wouldn't that be what you want, unless it's just fake outrage? So we got to be honest about what this really means, what this decision means. We know that President Obama said on many occasions that he can't unilaterally change the law, which is true. We know that the Supreme Court has ruled on numerous occasions that the president has broad powers in terms of who he can let into the country, but Congress has the ultimate authority on that. What President Trump did here, I thought was good-hearted. We're going to give 6 months, and if nothing gets done, we're going to go back to the table and re-examine. You're not going to deport 800,000 people. However, at the same time, if there's someone that you and I know, any of us, that does something illegal, the judge may say, oh, you have kids, but there's still going to be a punishment to bear. So we got to look at this thing from the full scope.
You know what? Nobody seems to be talking, Adrienne, about like the gang, like MS-13. I mean, a lot of those were young teenagers that came in from Central and South America and have become violent criminals. But I think what I don't understand with the left is that they seem to kind of take it's almost like fake news, but they're seeming to take the facts and twisting it to just use it as another reason to beat up on President Trump. Like, damned if he does, damned if he doesn't.
Look, again, I will just be very clear here. There's absolutely these dreamers who are no longer protected under DACA at this time. And yes, we had the 6-month extension. And yes, it is now in Congress's hands to come to a bipartisan solution on this issue. But nobody is safe here. I mean, these people, the dreamers, DACA recipients, turned over their information to the government several months ago with the full faith that they would be protected. And now the government has all of their information. They know where they live.
Though, Adrienne, that's the point. They very well may be.
Very quick point. President Obama said, look, I can't unilaterally change the laws. I get that. And then he came back and he said, look, I'm gonna implement this temporarily. So for folks who thought this was going to be a permanent solution, look back at our former president who said this was going to be temporarily done. Therefore, folks should expect the president of the United States to take this action, which he campaigned on, and this should be no surprise to anyone.
Adrienne, if they come up with a law, then I think President Trump signs it. It's not like he jumped on this in the first 6 months of his presidency.
Look, I hope so, and I will say that he has come out and said I am very conflicted about this. I want to make sure that we do have a solution here. So I hope he puts his money where his mouth is and continues that. And by the way, a lot of conservatives, as you both know, in Congress support a path to citizenship for dreamers. Many of these people came over when they were 6 months old. All they know is the United States.
I supported to a path to citizenship.
And they may get it, Adrienne. That's the point. They may get it in 6 months' time.
And it'll be a legal path.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Guys, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.